moment, life changing for me, when you wrote about mom guilt, which is something I know probably most moms deal with, especially late at night when it's quiet and you're just thinking about all the mistakes you made during the day, right? And so you kind of bring it up in a different light, how it's not so much that we're being so humble and it's about repentance, but rather just kind of going over and over like that. It's self-centered, it's pride. And that was a big aha moment for me. Can you talk a little bit about that and explain that?
Sure. I Something just popped into my mind about. Have you ever heard of Brother Lawrence? He did that. He was like a monk way back, like a 1400 or something, and he wrote to this one man, and his letters were compiled into a book called Practicing the Presence of God. And what this elderly monk said that he practiced the presence of God to where he did everything in God's presence. And he got to know the Lord so closely that he understood how God works forgiveness. And what he said was is that he knew that, if you already know you're a sinner, right, then you already know that you're not going to automatically be perfect. And so God knows that too. So what you do is you go, well, Lord, I messed up. That's that's my nature. Well, I have a new nature, but you understand in this body, that's what I'm going to do. It's only by your grace that I do anything different. So you already know that. That's old news to you, right? So I don't have to go over and over and over and over and over and rehash, because what that is saying is, somehow I'm going to reach up to perfection, but today I didn't, so I messed up. It's not like that. It's like I'm already imperfect. So let's just accept that and look at Jesus and move on, because Paul the Apostle said, looking to Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. I had this friend, and I used to go to him for counseling, right? And every time I get so upset and I'd say, I just can't do it, I'm messing up, I don't want to be evil, he'd say, look at Jesus, Sherry, look at Jesus. And he would get me back on track. Not looking at us. We're supposed to be looking at Jesus, not our perfection. He perfected already for us.
Yes. And I love how you talk about that. There's only one person that was perfect on earth. It's Jesus. So why are we holding ourselves to this standard where we just have to be perfect, right?
Actually, that puts us under like a law. The law brings death. The law is supposed to tutor us that we need Jesus, right? But if we bring ourselves under the law of perfection, then that brings death in our lives. And actually, that causes us to do worse. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because we're all never able to meet, and so we have this condemnation and this guilt, and we are actually meaner moms in the end.
Yes, exactly. And you've been a mother for a long time, so there's nothing you can think of, right, where you're thinking, that mom guilt that really came in handy with this situation, or that I'm really glad that I tortured myself all those years. I'm sure you don't have that example, right?
It's not productive. It doesn't do anything for anybody.